Welcome to this new segment called Wheel of the Year. During these segments, we will explore and share some facts from the Wheel of the Year. And right now, we are going to start with Imbolc. Blessed Imbolc to all those who celebrate. Grab your Bridget cross, light your candles, plant your seeds. It's the time of year to honor Bridget and or Saint Bridget. Imbolc is also known or also celebrated as Candlemas, Saint Bridget Day, and Groundhog Day. During this Sabbath, ways people celebrate it is the lighting of fires. If you are in a place where you can, this is the time to light your first bonfire of the year. If you have a fireplace, light that baby up. Of course, after you clear out the chimney, but light that baby up. Should you not have the comforts to have a bonfire or fireplace to light, you could simply light a candle. Usually a red or white candle is lit during this time. Why do we light these fires? Well, we light these fires as a symbol of the growing strength of the sun. At this point, we are in the middle of the dead of winter. It is cold, it is dark, and we yearn for the warmth of the sun. And this is a reminder during this halfway point that the sun shall return and we shall have our warmth. Things that are done during this time of year is spring cleaning. Time to do a deep cleaning in your home. Declutter, get rid of what is not needed. Remove all Christmas and or Yule decorations that have not come down as of this point. This is the time to clear your space and prepare your space for the next Sabbath with the Astora. We will talk about that during the next segment. Which traditional or folk practices are observed during this time? Well, you have the notorious Bridget cross. If you are looking at the image, the Bridget cross is actually what is leaning between the pitcher, the mini pitcher, and the candle. This is weaved with either rush or straw and usually hung over the doors of celebrants as a form of protection. You could also use the Bridget cloak, and I'm sorry for that misspelling, which is also known as brat bride. This is basically you leaving a piece of cloth or ribbon outside overnight on this night, and the purpose is to collect the sacred dew for healing. If you watch my me participating with the Cult Rejects, we had Jane Matthews, who is from Ireland, who lives in Ireland, and she did discuss how that is used in a little bit more detail for healing purposes when those who leave the Bridget cloak out. Of course, there is no Sabbath that is never complete without a feast. But remember, when this was observed, it was usually just a humble feast. So your feast would normally consist of dairy, which is milk or cheese or both, honey, and seed-based foods such as bread or granola, items that you would normally find naturally during this time of year. There is no slaughtering of the cows or anything like that, or you cannot go back then, and we're talking about centuries ago, and get a cow. The cows were used for the milk and for the cheese at the time. So that is the feast that you would have. Another aspect of this holiday is the Bridget doll, which again is crafted by straw, and usually is carried from door to door within the house as a means of protection and honoring Bridget, whether you call her Saint Bridget or whether you deal with her as the goddess of Bridget. Similar celebrations on this particular day is also Saint Bridget's Day, which is celebrated particularly in Ireland. And during this, on St. Bridget's Day, people visit holy wells, and they do have a feast. Another thing that's celebrated on this day is Groundhog Day, which is used as a way of predicting whether we will have winter lasting longer than normal, or it will end when it's supposed to end during the spring equinox. And as a way of celebrating this in Lithuania, they have the lantern parades, where lanterns are carried throughout the street as a celebration for this holiday. If you deal with color associations, you want to deal with the colors of either white, green, red, gold, or yellow. These are the colors that represent Imbolc. This is a time to set your intention for the rest of the year, or for the rest of the wheel of the year. How do you set your intentions? You could plant seeds, you could meditate, or you could journal. I want to revisit the point of planting seeds. It is meant literally and metaphorically. You could literally start if you have a garden and gardening is what you do, you could go ahead and start your seedlings now. So they will be set and ready, depending on what the groundhogs say, by the time spring and the last frost has come. I would also recommend checking the Farmer's Almanac to make sure that you are correct about the last frost. In order to connect during the Sabbath, it is also recommended, although depending on your availability, this may or may not be realistic, to connecting to nature. If you can, go ahead and take walks in nature. If you have a park, if you have a mountain, a forest that you won't get lost in, taking a brisk walk through there and making it your daily routine is usually good. This is a good method, as well as getting into the habit as conducting walking meditations, and just a nice way of practicing mindfulness. Also, and this is part of the meditation when you're in nature, listen for the birds. Listen to see if the birds are around. I know the birds are around now, but it's pretty cold, so they're not singing. And we all know the pitch of the singing of birds during spring. If you start doing this now, you will start realizing when spring is upon us, because you'll hear it within the birds. And this is also giving you the opportunity to observe the earth, the planet, as it wakes up from its winter slumber. Now, there are also herbs that are associated with this holiday that most people use, and this is the time that they use it for whatever they do, whether this is the time they want to harvest this, or this is the time they want to regenerate whichever satchels or teas or anything they have set up that's herbal. So you have bay leaves, rosemary, heather, basil, lavender, angelica, myrrh, Now, this is one I'm unfamiliar with, so if you wish to add this on and explain it to me in the comments, I am more than happy to accept this. You have colt's foot and violets. So this is where we are with Imbolc. Today is Imbolc, and today is the wheel of the year. Today is a Sabbath, and it's a high Sabbath. And this is a time where we find our hope in the darkness of the night, and we are reminded that the sun shall come. So celebrate in whichever manner you wish. This is the time to get your house in order, and this is the time to truly contemplate what you wish to come this year. Thank you for attending this video and attending and participating in Imbolc. I hope you have a blessed day today. Remember, it is cold outside, but the fire shall always burn. Never let the fire be extinguished within you. Until next time.